Anil Razdan. Let's go across and try our luck. Mr. Razdan, good morning. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Great. I was asking you whether we will fall short on the 11th plan targets for power, and do you think companies like NTPC have gone slower than you expected?
Well, I think at the very outset, I'll say that this time the target that we had set for ourselves was about 78,000 megawatts, because that's what we felt that the country needed, that kind of an aggressive target. We had also given encouragement to a lot of captive capacity coming in, because we feel that that kind of capacity gives instant relief and a very kind of a competitive edge to power generation. People do it in the shortest possible time. You also reduce T&D losses. We've given them fuel allocations. At the moment, we have, I think, in this plan about 12,000 megawatts that has been added, which is of course lower than what we had expected. But at the same time, over 88,000 megawatts is under construction. Now, what is very encouraging is that the private sector is particularly well off, in the sense that about 33,000 megawatts in the private sector is under construction, besides 10,000 megawatts in the captive sector. I expect that this private sector completion will take place in time. We are putting a lot of monitoring pressure. I knew that the ministry had been monitoring it well, and they're still doing it well. The Central Electricity Authority also. The NTPC also wants to close its projects fast, bring them into commissioning. There will be a crowding in the last year of this plan, because we must realize that it takes about 4 to 5 years to complete a power project at the very minimum, from the time of conception to actual commissioning. And I think if we have more players in the manufacturing sector, particularly in the balance of plant area and main equipment, we should be performing faster and better. I had a philosophy that we should be ordering on an average about 20 to 25,000 megawatts as a cycle every year. And the 2 calendar years, 2007 and 2008, we will have, I think, done close to about 58,000 megawatts as fresh starts. Now, I'm not particularly bothered, say, if in this 5-year period we fall 5,000 short or exceed by 5,000 or something like that, but the trend seems to be very good at the moment. We have to come into the cycle of a yearly ordering of about 20 to 25,000 megawatts, and these projects will come sooner or later. Maybe some will come 6 months faster, some 6 months, or even if it's a year later. We will start getting about 80 to 100,000 megawatts then in a 5-year plan. This paradigm shift in our thinking was required, but it has to be backed with a considerable backup in manufacturing capacity, availability of the right contractors, availability of credit, and fuel also. Because this plan is going to be heavily thermal coal oriented.
Sure. Mr. Razdan, morning. 2 specific projects on which there are some concerns because they are so large sized as well, Project BARD 1 and BARD 2. What's your sense of when that might reach any kind of completion?
Well, the NTPC would be the right persons to answer that kind of a question, but my own information on that subject was that they had run into some contractual problems with a foreign contractor who had been selected on competitive bid basis. So there are certain contractual issues which were being sorted out. There was a kind of an adjudication also. An advice award was given, and we expected both parties to be able to come to a reconciliatory agreement, because as far as the NTPC and the Ministry of Power are concerned, they're interested in the speediest implementation of that project, because the next project is also on hold and is connected to this project because there are some site clearance issues. We would certainly like the Bar project to have progressed faster than it has been progressing.
The other eyebrows have been raised, Mr. Razdan, on the fact that one private player, Reliance Power, was awarded such a large proportion of the ultra mega power projects, which is a lot of experts have cited that might be heightening the risk of execution with one party getting such a large number of those projects. Are you comfortable with that, or would it have been better or more prudent to spread it out?
See, as you are all aware, there's an empowered group of ministers which was handling the ultra mega power projects issue, and the issues were debated and deliberated in great length. The projects were put out to competitive bidding, and in fact, for the last Tilaiya bid, we did extend a few dates to suit some market conditions and the unfortunate developments in Mumbai. We had hoped that some of the other major players would come on board and bid for the projects also. That could have increased competition. But be that as it may, I think there are pretty strong players as such, and if they get all their act together, and they have already promised, I think, a speedier implementation in this Sasan project, bringing at least, I think, one unit, if not two, into commissioning mode during the 11th plan. It will be a strong test and a strong indicator on their part whether they can fulfill the rest of the commitment during the 12th plan. Krishnapatnam project, I think the progress has been good, but I think there are certain land acquisition issues, there are environment, forest issues, which have to be also settled speedily so that project developers can go ahead full steam on project development.
Aside from land acquisition issues, sir, there seems to be a huge issue with achieving financial closure. I mean, most of the private parties we're talking about are lagging their stated targets in terms of financial closure with a wide margin. What kind of impetus or help can be provided on that front?
Well, I think the Power Ministry has been putting forth its point of view that credit lending regulations, norms need to be revised in respect to the power sector because the capital requirement is so huge. There are capital intensive projects, exposure limits of the groups, exposure limits of particular sectors. They all have to be revised, keeping in view the capital intensive industry. I think it needs immediate attention. The Power Ministry has been raising those issues. And I think you raised a point very validly that we have to attend to these financial closure issues very promptly because in the particular climate of a little slowdown industrially, I feel that the power sector, if the various initiatives that have been launched in the power sector, not only on the generation side, but also in the APDRP program and the Rajiv Gandhi Gramin Vidyutikaran Yojana, if all these sectors' credit requirements are attended to fast and in time, we will ensure that from the very small manufacturers to the very large manufacturers will get enough business. There will be enough employment opportunities down the line because simultaneously we have a massive transmission capacity addition program. We want to take the inter-regional capacity transfer to about 37,000 megawatts from the close of about 17,000 megawatts at the close of 2008. And all the equipment requirement in the distribution sector, in the rural electrification sector, the huge IT interface, the frenzy of activity, I think, which can be generated by these initiatives. Say the APDRP program itself is about 51,000 crores.
Mr. Razdan, we are out of time completely. Appreciate you joining in today. Thanks so much.